No.
You didn't read it?
No.
You didn't read the book?
No.
You didn't read the book?
No.
You know what book I'm talking about?
Yes.
This book.
I didn't read it.
Then what are you doing here?
You said you needed it.
I needed you to read the book.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Reading the book.
You're reading the book?
Yes.
You don't have time to read the book. You're putting me on, right?
No.
It's a gag.
No.
The whole world has read the book.
Not me.
Do you know about the book?
Going with the shore. I read the first page.
There?
Moonlight and magnolias, give me a break.
You know why you're here?
You have a screenplay problem. You need the dialogue punched up, some character stuff fixed. Why else would you call me?
I need a whole new scenario.
You've been shooting for 3 weeks.
Well, I had to shut production down.
You did what?
Well, I am not shooting another foot of film until I have a scenario that I can believe in.
You closed down production on the biggest movie in Hollywood history.
I am in debt up to here. I can lose the studio, my kids' college tuition, the house. Miss Pop and Gould!
Yeah, you closed down. You went into production without a screenplay?
Well, I thought I had a screenplay. I've been working on one for the past 3 years.
Yes, Mr. Selsdale.
Is Fleming on the lot yet?
No, Mr. Selsdale.
But we sent the car out for him,
Oh,
right?
yes, Mr. Selsdale.
The studio car?
Yes, Mr. Selsdale.
And he's not here yet.
No, Mr. Selsdale.
Did he get there?
30 minutes ago. I checked personally.
With a phone call.
Yes, Mr. Selsdale.
Did you make yourself?
Yes, Mr. Selsdale.
To his house?
Yes, Mr. Selsdale.
Where he lives?
Yes, Mr. Selsdale.
Well, I want him in here the moment he arrives.
Yes, Mr. Selsdale.
Does Cooper agree with closing the movie down?
George Cukor is no longer the director of Gone with the Wind.
You fired him?
Last night. Hey, it's my studio, my picture. I can do whatever the hell I want.
But he's your best friend.
You think that made it any easier?
Well, you kids call him Uncle George.
Thank you.
Uncle George.
And
Mayor okayed this?
Mayor only has 50% of this picture. I am in creative control. He gets half the profits. I get all the ulcers.
But you don't have a screenplay.
Which I got you.
I didn't read the book.
Stop saying that! You didn't read them. You're the only person on the face of the planet. I only read that first. For your information, this novel is the biggest sensation in publishing history. It's a story about a nation torn in two. An entire civilization having to choose between the modern world and its past. Scarlett O'Hara, the heroine, which I cannot believe you don't know, considering that I've been looking for an actress to play her for the past 2 years. 20 seconds. Miss Pop and Gould!
Yes, Mr. Selsdale.
Memo to wardrobe. I am not happy with Miss Lee's red dress. She's got a pair of boobs. Let's make sure we get a good look at them. More cleavage.
More cleavage. Yes, Mr. Selsdale.
Any sign of Fleming yet?
No, Mr. Selsdale.
Scarlet, yes. Fights to rebuild Tara, just as the readers are trying to get through the depression.
Tara?
Oh, Hannah Hopper, unlike what, Mr. Selsdale?
No, Hannah. I haven't closed down production. I don't know where you're getting your information from.
Luella Paulson, line 2, Mr. Selsdale.
That is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Closed down Gone with the Wind after 3 weeks?
Ed Sullivan, line 3, Mr. Selsdale.
Trouble? On Gone with the Wind? You know you'd be the first person I'd call if anything like that ever happened, Sully. I'll give you $10,000. 12. 15. No screenplay, no movie. No movie, no more Selznick Studios. No more Selznick Studios. I'm back working for my father-in-law. Ruin, humiliation, failure. You want that for me?
I didn't read the book.
Don't say that again! For me. Not for Mayor. Not even for the movie. For me.
1 week, that's all.
1 Week?
That's all I can give you.
Man!
1 week. You're not the only one with deadlines.
What are you doing?
Breakfast.
You don't have time.
What, it's 6 in the morning?
I need your full concentration here. I am paying you to write, not eat. What's Fleming? Okay, now, as everyone on God's good green earth knows that you, Gone with the Wind takes place during the Civil War.
There's your first problem. No Civil War movie ever made a dime.
It's going to pit brother against brother, father against son.
Forever will.
Okay, are you just follow me here, okay? Overture, front credits, fade in on Terror.
Sure, Terror.
Yeah, the O'Hara's plantation in Georgia. Just think pillars, a staircase, cotton fields, Old Man River. It's hot. It's so hot. It's always hot. Oh, my Jesus! Land, land, land is the only thing that lasts. Did you hear me? Land!
David?
Sorry. Gerald O'Hara. That's Scarlett's father. Her mother, Ellen Robillard O'Hara, mistress of terror, très aristocratique, très élégant.
That's right, early in the day for this.
Now, her mother is the only person that Scarlett O'Hara has ever been afraid of. Scarlett herself. Beautiful, spoiled, tiny feet, flawless skin, a laugh that cares for no one. Why, fiddly-dee. The men. Think spurs, boots, buttons, cravats. Each and every one of them madly in love with Scarlett. Yes? Who has nothing in her pretty little head but dreamy old Ashley Wilkes?
Ashley?
Proud, cultured, Mozart, Europe, books, the oboe, the mezzanine, no spurs. Okay, now you got the main character, right? Now, when the movie opens, Scarlett is convinced that Ashley is going to declare his love for her. Then she discovers that he is about to marry Melanie Hamilton, his own cousin.
Is that legal?
It's the South. Scarlett has always been sure that Ashley will one day be hers. So when she hears the news, she assumes it is a mistake, a terrible, terrible mistake. She still thinks that he is going to elope with her. He says, it can't be. Nobody has ever said no to her before. She argues. It can be. It can't be. It can't be. It can't be. It can't be.
I get the idea.
Oh, you're going to love this. Ashley Eames, right? But unbeknownst to either of them, the ruthless but charming Rhett Butler has heard it all.
Rhett Butler?
Yes, think Clark Gable, that's all you'll have to think. Now, she is mad at him for eavesdropping, but he laughs in her face. Aha! Oh, it gets even better than this. Now, stung by Ashley's rejection, Scarlett marries Charles Hamilton. That's Melanie's brother, and the poor boob who just happens to be the first person she sees after getting the heat hole from Ashley, who we suspect still has the hots for Scarlett, who in turn has child by him.
By Ashcroft.
Ashley! By Hamilton. But don't worry about him because he's just about to get himself killed.
The war's broken out by now.
Well, can't you keep up? Here is Sidney Howard's scenario. Most of the story beats are in there.
Most?
Well, we have to leave a few things out.
David, this is longer than a whore's dream.
Mr. Fleming,
Oh.
Mr. Selznick.
I hate to kiss and run, David, whatever this is about, but I have got to get back to the set of Wizard of Oz. I've got 116 munchkins dead drunk in the hallways, fornicating in the urinals at the Culver Hotel.
You are not shooting Wizard of Oz anymore.
I've got 2 weeks to go.
You're through with it.
What? I'm being fired?
That's a damn lie. I have no idea where these rumors start. Okay, yes, I did.
Shall we keep the studio car waiting for Mr. Fleming, Mr. Selsby?
No.
Mr. Heck's car?
No.
Very good, Mr. Selsby.
George Cooper took 5 days to film the opening scene. His pacing is too slow. He's adding his own dialogue in. Margaret Mitchell's original name for Scarlet was Pansy. That's how he's been shooting the movie, pansified. Now, I know that won't happen with you. You may be a son of a bitch bastard.
Thanks.
But you're a talented one. And Gable is a pal of yours, isn't he?
Are you kidding? I taught him how to be Gable.
So what happens on Oz?
No, it's not your problem.
Yeah, but hey, it's my movie.
It was your movie.
So, I don't have to go back to the Munchkins, do I? Nope, I can live with that. Yesterday, when we screened the dailies, the little bastards were singing Ding Dong, the Bitch is Dead. Okay, so Mayor is okay and happy with all this, right?
He agrees with me. You're the only guy who can take this on.
Great. A couple of weeks with the screenplay then. I'll make some notes, start working with the actors.
We don't have a couple of weeks, and we don't have a screenplay.
Aye.
That's why Ben Heck is here.
You don't have a...
He fired the screenplay's ass too.
So what are we working from?
You read the book?
It's a very big book.
But you know what's in there.
Sure, don't most people?
Not our screenwriter.
You didn't read the... No.
Not a problem. He's going to give it a week.
A week?
7 days.
5 days, a working week.
5 days? 5 days to turn this into a screenplay.
Ben can do more in 5 days than anybody in Hollywood.
He is going to turn up, what, 1,037 pages into 130.
He's the best there
He
is.
hasn't read a single one of them.
I read the first page.
And?
That
Oh, big book, big movie.
Ben wrote Scarface in 11 days.
Hurricane in 2.
Yeah, well, this isn't a piece of shit like those were.
He said,
Oh, you know what I'm saying.
that they didn't reach the giddy artistic heights of Test Pilot.
There was something wrong with the Test Pilot.
Such kidders. The best rewrite guy in Hollywood. The only director with the balls to take this on. Big book, yes. But he's got Sidney Howard's first pass. He's going to work from that.
Great. Let me know when you got the screenplay.
Whoa. I need you here. There may be a few things that he may want to bounce off his director.
I can think of 1 or 2 already.
You're my guys. I'm your guy. That's the only way we're going to get through this. But the clock is ticking. It's costing me $50,000 a day just to idle the picture.
Why doesn't Mayer rewrite the movie? He called me in once. He says, this is all you need to know about screenwriting. The rose is here. It should be here. I'm still trying to figure out what he meant. Okay, so Hamilton buys the farm, and?
The war heats up. The South attacks. The North counterattacks. The South is thrown back. They attack again. Once again, the North counterattacks.
You're making me nauseous.
Atlanta burns. Which we shot already, so you don't have to worry about that.
Hey, Dave, before we get into this, I'm going to be allowed to finish this picture, right? I mean, it's not going to be Oz at 7 o'clock this morning, Gone with the Wind at 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, The Ice Follies.
I am not going to dignify that with an answer. Here. Flames. People running here and there. And in the middle of it, oh, Melanie is about to have Ashley's baby. Horse, cart, Scarlet, Melanie, her baby, gunshots, looters, flames. Scarlet makes her way back to town. Town. If only I can get back to town.
Okay, well, she goes back, and she finds her mother is dead, and her father is half crazy out of his mind with grief, okay? Then most of the slaves have run away, and there's no food or livestock. None of the neighbors have a roof over their heads.
Where else would you put a roof?
Once there, she finds a Union soldier looting the house. She is a woman all alone and helpless. She shoots him, stone dead. Whatever else this is, it's a melodrama. Remember that. Now, she buries the body, then she leaves Melanie and her baby at the house with a couple of loyal slaves.
Loyal slaves?
Yeah, and she heads to Atlanta.
I thought she just left Atlanta.
While in Atlanta, she runs into none other than
Red Butler.
he's in jail.
We're impersonating Clark Gable.
She is desperate for money, so she offers to be Rhett's mistress if he gives it to her. He laughs in her face.
Aha!
Now, humiliated, Scarlett marries
Frank Kennedy.
Did I miss him?
well, he owns a store. She doesn't really love him, but she just doesn't want to be hungry again.
Who does? Which reminds me.
Oh, get away from that food!
Well, just one bagel?
Isn't this where Scarlett figures out there's money in sawmills?
It's Reconstruction.
The war's over.
Oh, the South will rise again, but they're going to need lumber.
Lumber, yes.
Okay, now Red is out of jail, back on the scene.
Oh, he's out of jail.
Yes, and he is still bewitched by Scarlett.
Who's got all that lumber?
She has another baby,
The number two.
a girl. Her husband thinks it's going to help her settle down.
Well, once a woman has discovered the lure of running a sawmill,
Scarlett gets attacked. But Ashley and her husband join a Klan raid to avenge her.
Right, but Red saves the day.
that plan? Yeah. Are you following this? And especially the...
Yes!
Can we get on? Hold it, please. This is insane. You have a heroine whose lack of morals would be remarked on in a $2 whorehouse, a hero who would shoot his own grandmother in the belly, a plot that makes the Finnegan's Wake the picture of lucidity, and this other character you have, this Ashburton.
Ashley!
Some kind of maggot.
Ashley Wells is not a faggot!
Played by
Leslie Howard.
an English actor. I rest my case.
You know, he is actually a Hungarian Jew.
He plays English.
Ashley Wilkes just wants to do the right
He
thing.
wants to get the little tramp's pants.
Gone with the Wind has one of the greatest love triangles of all time.
David, I don't know if this is a very bad good book or a very good bad book or most likely a very bad book. But I do know you'll never get a movie out of it.
David O. Selznick, producer.
You're a wonderful filmmaker. Nobody's going to argue about that. David Copperfield, Tale of Two Cities, A Prisoner of Zenda. There's a classic you haven't pillaged. What happened? How did you get suckered into buying this side of locks?
The whole world cares about this book, this movie.
There's going to be a war in Europe sometime soon.
Europe is a long ways away, and it's none of our business.
Oh yeah? With half the directors here because they had to run from the Nazis? Oh, but of course, you're the guy who won't give me one lousy dollar for Jewish relief.
Don't start that stuff again. We have a job to do.
Yeah.
So when are we going to get some, you know...
I believe in this movie.
Well, enough to risk losing everything, the big house across the street from the chaplains, the cars, the yacht, your reputation as someone who's almost as smart as Thalberg was.
Almost.
You really want to end up like your old man?
You want to get to work? Get away from that! Put that down! The digestive juices get mixed up with the creative ones as a scientific fact. And we are going to be riding against the clock.
I've done that before.
Oh, not with these steaks.
I don't need a steak, just a bagel.
No!
One bagel?
It'll slow you down.
I'll go easy on the schmear.
I can't allow it.
Have a bagel!
I can't risk it. Miss Pop and Gold, would you please get this out of here?
Oh, yes, Mr. Selznick.
Tell him he's crazy.
You can write it. I can shoot it.
The politics of it at a time like this.
You're confusing me with somebody who gives a shit.
That's the attitude. Here, there's some production design and some wardrobe stuff over there. You should get a jump on it because you are going to be on set on Monday.
With a script.
Sure, with a script. Right, Ben?
Right. She goes to Atlanta, she leaves Atlanta. She goes back to Atlanta. She wants what's his name, then she wants Red Butler. He leaves, he comes back. What's his name leaves, he comes back. He wants her, he doesn't want her. She leaves Atlanta. She goes back to Atlanta. They're winning the war. They're losing the war. Red Butler's back. No, he's gone again. She's back in Atlanta. No, they're burning Atlanta. She leaves Atlanta. How in God's name is any saint person supposed to make any sense of this?
Yeah, well, you're the writer, aren't you?
If I can get a screenplay out of Anna Karenina, I can get one out of this.
Have you even been to the South?
Well, I'm planning the premiere for Atlanta. Well, then. Miss Pop and Gold!
Yes, Mr. Selznick?
Do you know what a banana is?
Yes, Mr. Selznick?
A fruit.
Yes, Mr. Selznick.
You know what peanuts are?
Yes, Mr. Selznick?
I want bananas. Lots of bananas. Peanuts. Get me peanuts. You know what I'm talking about? Bananas, peanuts.
Yes, Mr. Selznick. Miss Lee has asked if she can go back to England while the movie is down.
The movie is not. Please, remind Miss Lee that she is still under contract and must remain in Los Angeles until we resume production. So Mr. Olivier should keep it in his pants a little longer.
Keep it in his pants.
Now, by the end of the week, Mr. Heck here will have a completed screenplay for us. Do you know what a typewriter is?
A typewriter?
I want a typewriter. Papers, pencils, erasers, pens, inks, notepads.
Cyanide capsules?
And we need them right away.
Yes, Mr. Selznick.
Oh, and don't forget the bananas, they're brain food.
Yes, Mr. Selznick.
And hold on my calls.
Mr. Mayor is on line 1.
I can't talk to him.
Mr. Louis B. Mayor.
No calls.
Your father-in-law, Mr. Mayor.
I know who Louis B. Mayer is.
The father of your wife.
I get that.
Your wife, Irene.
I know my own wife's name.
Now, where do you want to work? Honolulu. Before we get in too deep here, does this movie really have to be set in the Civil War?
Yes.
You thought this through?
Yes.
This Civil War.
Well, we only had one so far.
Somebody once told Bulwer
Yeah, Bulwer. It's always Bulwer.
that he couldn't set a beach scene in Paris because Paris isn't on the ocean. Thalberg says, we can't cater to the handful of people who know Paris.
Your point being,
We play with it a little. Maybe we're in the right street, but we're knocking on the wrong door.
we are stuck with the American Civil War, and we're stuck with this storyline and these characters. We're also going to use only the dialogue that's in the book. Sure, they may not be using the same scenes, and different characters might say the words, but they're going to be the originals.
Aren't these people fighting to keep slaves?
Well, slavery is a part of their world, yes.
And the audience is supposed to root for them?
They will if we do our jobs right.
Well, doesn't that, slavery, the owning of one person by another?
It's Pop and Gold! It will.
Yes, Mr. Selznick.
Our company motto.
Selznick Pictures create happy hours.
Our credo.
To gain the respect of the American public through quality alone has always been the single aim of Selznick Pictures. That is why they are to be found in theaters of the highest standard. That is why you feel as if you have been associating with a charming and intelligent friend as you leave the theater.
Not as if you've been a part of a lynch mob in the Deep South.
Now, where are the bananas?
Coming right in.
Didn't you tell me that our heroine plugs a Union soldier in the belly? Doesn't that make her, how should I put this, a tad unsympathetic?
Well, it depends on how you're shooting, right, Victor?
Sure. But I do need a screenplay to work from. And, call me crazy, but having a screenwriter who hasn't read any of the material yet.
Material? Somewhere to start? I have got all the material he needs let's see, first draft, second draft, third draft, polishes, scene breakdowns, notes of story meetings. Do you want to hear what Margaret Mitchell had to say? She suggested that Groucho Marx play Red Butler.
Salted, plain, roasted, shelled or unshelled, Mr. Selznick.
What?
The peanuts.
Peanuts, just peanuts. All right, whose draft do you want to see first? I got Joel Swirling, John Van Druten, Oliver H.P. Garnett, Charles MacArthur.
Well, you had a piece of this too.
Winston Miller, John Balderston, Michael Foster, Edwin Justice Mayer, Scott Fitzgerald.
That's not Fitzgerald.
Well, he gave me 2 lines I could use.
I have everything, Mr. Selznick.
You have the bananas
They're here, Mr. Selznick.
and the peanuts.
On the way. And I think you really should take that call with Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Elvie?
So I hear your big pal Gable had to be strong-armed into doing this.
Yeah, he's scared stiff of the role. Everybody's got it in their heads that he is Red Butler. And so if he blows it,
Yeah, Fleming is here, yes.
Wasn't there a little, thing between him and Cooper in a men's restroom when he first came out?
not get into that, okay, buddy?
I had come in at 6.
Do you think you'll get along with what's her name?
Yeah, well, she'll probably do everything in her power to get he can to get Gorgeous George back on the set. So if at some point I have to tell Miss Fiddledee to shove the screenplay up her royal British ass, I'm prepared to do so.
Yeah, well, I guess the guy who slugged Judy Garland.
I heard it once. Just the once.
I put them straight to work.
Yeah, the question is, can you really pull this off in a week? How many screenplays are you working on right now, anyway?
Well, there's the Marx Brothers movie. There's there's 2 for RKO, 1 for Warner.
They're really getting
You
into
can
it.
keep 4 screenplays straight in your head at one time.
You can direct The Wizard of Oz one day and Gone with the Wind the next.
Don't worry about my direction, and I won't worry about you getting right, Scram.
You fella.
Ed and Fleming, what a team. Ice cubes.
Ice cubes.
They wouldn't have had ice cubes back then, in period. What would they use? Crushed ice?
The hell with that? We don't have the screenplay. Why didn't you get one of the guys, one of those poor bastards from down there in the writer's building? You know, like this guy down here. Look at him. Argyle sweater, corduroy pants. What about him?
One of those poor bastards
Yeah,
in
you
the
know.
writer's building.
Yeah, the failed poets and the college professors and the dollar-a-line hacks who make more in a week than the average Joe earns in a year, and yet all they do is bitch about.
Bitch.
Yeah, well, how much are you making for your 5 days' work, sonny boy?
That's your business.
And it's worth every dollar.
It's your money, David, but I'm just saying, why not let one of those guys butcher the script?
Oh, well, I'm here to butcher the book. I am sure we can trust you to butcher the script.
Does this sound mean anything to you, Pally?
Miss Pop and Go!
Yes, Mr. Selznick.
Give me security on the line. I've got a rider on the loose.
Right away, Mr. Selznick.
Oh, wait. Memo to props. Crushed ice anytime we see a drink with anybody on camera. No ice cubes. Crushed. No cubes.
No cues.
I just need to know what happens in the book. Little matter, character, and narrative.
It's all very simple.
Security, Mr. Selznick, line 1.
Security. I got a rider out of his bungalow. Tall guy, Argyle sweater, smoking a pipe. Find out who he is and what his story is and what he thinks he's doing smoking a pipe on my dime.
At 38, you could wing him from here.
Okay, now, stop. Yes? She thinks that she is in love with Ashley Willis. Although he is about to marry Melanie. But we think that Ashley is really in love with Scarlett, who is in love with Red Butler but doesn't know it yet. So, to get back at Ashley, she marries the first guy she sees and has a child by him. But he dies, which sets her free to now chase after Ashley again. But she can't, because by now, Ashley is already married to Melanie, and Red Butler, who everybody thinks doesn't love anybody but himself, is now in love with Scarlett.
Scarlett thinks she's in love with who?
The worst thing to happen to this business is talking pictures. Now we gotta have some words. And we gotta sit around and wait for a half-ass Chicago newspaper man to deliver them.
You were a chauffeur, yes? You drove someone to a movie shoot, the camera broke down and you fixed it. And now you're Mr. Big Shot Director.
Yeah, well, if you can't pull this off, you're gonna have to go back to writing for the newspapers, Mr. Rewrite guy.
Hold up!
Hold up there in Windy City.
I need this, guys. I need it. Come on, you have no idea how badly I need it. My father-in-law's waiting for me to fall on my ass. He told Irene, keep away from that schnook, he's going to be a bum just like an old man. Give me a hit, fellas. A hit. Do you have any idea what it feels like when 1 million people go see your movie? Huh? When 1 million people say yes. Have you ever been on the lot on Monday after the studios had a smash hit that weekend? Even the cop at the gate is standing a little taller. There's an extra snap in the way that the waiter at the commissary opens up your napkin. All of a sudden, you're a genius. The fact that every single release you had for the past 3 years has been a dog doesn't matter anymore. You genius bastard. You made it on sheer talent. And you're going to keep doing it too, week after week, movie after movie. From now on, everything you touch is going to turn to gold. But it's not just about the money, you know. It's knowing that you know. You know what I mean? You know.
And they forget that you're a Jew boy in English tweeds.
Nix the Jew boy.
They won't let into their country club.
Would you stay after that for 5 minutes?
You want it along so badly, fine. I'll give it my best shot, but from this, with him, okay. So, Scarlett thinks she's in love with Ashburton.
Ashley!
But he's about to marry his own sister.
No! What's some, huh? Specks of light stuck to a strip of celluloid? Have you ever thought of it that way? A series of moments frozen in time by the only time machine ever invented. So, what do we want our specks of light to be this time, fellas? When we're sitting in a movie palace, and the lights go down, and the theater disappears, and the magic starts to happen. Let's say we hear an overture. I don't know, something like da-dee-da-da, da-dee-da-da. And the curtain opens, da-dee-da-da. And on the screen we see a sky in flames. A sky that looks like it's the end of the world. Shapes, silhouettes, backs bent in toil. La-dee-da-da. A scene of back-breaking labor. Endless struggle.
It's the writer's building.
It's terror. Terror. You see, I put the camera down low, right? And it's all about the head. And the tower just fills the screen. It's not just a house, it's their whole way of life in the South. It's their entire world. It's terror. You can smell the red, bright, rotting earth then. It's as red as the sky.
is as red as the blood that beats in the hearts of a people who know that their way of life is doomed, but they're still willing to spill every ounce in defense of their hopeless cause.
It is the Writers' Building.
Okay, that's it. Silhouettes, yeah. And shadows, too. Lots of shadows, you know. Strong colors, blacks, reds, and figures against landscape. Epic. Epic, yes! Epic is all shit. You know what a door is?
Yes, Mr. Selznick.
You know what I mean when I say those doors stay closed?
Yes, Mr. Selznick.
If I tell you nobody comes in here for the next 5 days, you know what I mean?
David.
Yes, Mr. Selznick.
Do you know what a telephone is?
Yes, Mr. Selznick.
So if I tell you no calls for the next 5 days,
Oh, I didn't agree to this.
you say you give me 5 days. You are under contract, remember? There's the bathroom, there's the bananas, and where's the peanuts?
Right here, Mr. Selznick.
The door! Yes, big book, but big brain, big guy, big shot. 5 days, 1 screenplay, The Blood Red Sky.
Sure. The blood red sky, then what?
Then Fleming and I will act out the book for you. Act out the book? You have a better idea.
The whole book?
We do a scene from the book. He takes a look at it, then he writes it up as a movie scene. Then we do the next scene. And then he says, well, why do we need that scene? We can tell the story without it. So we trash that scene, and we take a look at the next scene. And by the end of the week, we have a movie.
That nobody's going to want to watch, but hey.
Fade out.
1
Exterior.
day.
Terror. We really got to hand this up, you know, big. It's got to be big. Big emotions, big acting. Make them forget what piffle it really is.
So let's go.
War, war, war. That's all anybody wants to talk about. War, war, war.
What? What? I'm not an actor. Well, you think I am?
Running low on dialogue here.
War, war, war.
Why, Ashley Will. I did not see you there.
Yeah, you do remember the book.
Yeah, sure I do. All right, yeah.
Hey, Scarlett, how's it going?
Hey, Scarlett, how's it going?
You're Ashley Wilkes, remember?
Okay,
You got to give me something to work with.
No, unless you rather play Scarlett.
No, Ashley will be
5 days, and you'll lose me, remember.
All right, I've got something to tell you, Scarlett. It's about me and my cousin Melanie.
Melanie. Poor little flat-chested, skinny little Melanie. Why, Billy.
in Atlanta, remember?
Atlanta.
And Melanie is having Ashley's baby.
Melanie?
With only Scarlett to help her.
Scarlett?
Oh, no, not again.
Oh, I think I lost the use of my legs.
Easy. Have a banana. Oh! A peanut. No! Take it easy.
Oh, damn you, David! No such thing! I haven't had a bowel movement in 2 days. I think I lost. Oh my God! I'm getting my right ear. I can't hear anything from this damn typewriter. Oh look! I think I lost 5 pounds. Oh, look at that!
Oh, it's nothing.
Look at that!
Yes.
Look at that! Oh, what's that?
You threw the peanuts at me, remember?
I took them badly.
Fleming held you down until you got over it.
Fleming, what's he doing here?
Stop kidding around! Look, we're doing pretty good, but we got a long ways to go.
Oh, my back!
Hey, we gotta keep going.
Oh, my head.
You know where we are, right, in the story?
Just take a walk for a minute. I'll get some fresh air.
No!
Oh, let me sleep for 10 minutes.
No, we don't have time here. We have a baby on the way. Melanie is having Ashley's baby with only Scarlett to help her. Now, Scarlett's maid, Chrissy, told her that she knew everything about birthing babies, but she didn't know nothing. Push! Chrissy, it's taking too long. Melanie is in a real bad way. Chrissy comes back dawdling.
I'm having a baby here.
Not without Chrissy. Chrissy runs up the stairs. She is all alone. She hasn't brought any help. She's a bad, stupid girl.
I'm a stupid girl.
Now Scarlett loosed it, and now Scarlett is left alone with a woman who's having a child by the only man that Scarlett ever loved.
Whoa, back up.
You see why this book sold 1.5 million copies in 12 months? There it is right there. You want to talk character, a dilemma, a dramatic irony? Zola couldn't have done it any better.
Hold it. She slaps the maid?
Socks are one right here.
The colored maid.
Yeah,
I'm a
Chrissy.
stupid girl.
How old is this girl?
I don't know, 10, 12.
You can't put that in a movie.
But she lied to her. She said she could burn babies.
I told Miss Scarlett I
And she dawdled on the way back. Meantime, Melanie's dying over here.
You're paying me to tell you what scenes to cut from this movie. Cut this one.
No!
Have you any idea what this says about your heroine?
She's under a lot of pressure here.
So it's okay to beat up the black kid?
I'm a bad, stupid girl.
Would you please dialogue in the scene?
No!
Write it.
I won't do it.
Who's the producer?
Who's the writer? So right! Oh, David, what happened? You making a movie that doesn't just glorify the Confederacy, but she slaps the little girl.
The audience is waiting for it.
Look how Fleming's playing Chrissy.
Well, he's not an actor.
Don't you have a responsibility to make America look its ugly mug in the face?
My only responsibility is to make the best movie that I can.
This is not the David Selznick I know. The David Selznick I admire, I love. In this gold-lined sewer, I always thought there was one executive who saw things the way I do.
I can't deal with the race question now.
If you can't deal with it and Gone with the Wind, when will you?
Oh, God. More Chicago newsman? BS. I will be in the job.
If there's one person who can make this movie mean something, it's you.
It's a melodrama. Possibly the greatest one ever written, but a melodrama.
If there's anybody who understands the legacy of prejudice, it's us Jews.
How did the Jews get into this?
The audience is waiting for the slap. What are you thinking?
That I don't have you much longer. Melanie is having a Ashley's baby, and Scarlett's is prissy, and blank. Where's Fleming? Just write it.
Not in a million years.
I have spent a lot of money, time, and effort making sure that all my characters are treated with respect.
As much as you spent on Vivian Lee's breastwork on the ice cubes.
All the Negro characters in my movie are going to have the same dignity as all the other characters.
Any way you slice it, this movie is an elegy to the Old South. Surely you see the problem. Jack Warner wouldn't have seen it. Oh, Harry Cohn wouldn't see it. Thalberg might have seen it.
Enough with the Thalberg, just write it.
I can't write it.
I have to be loyal to the book.
How about being loyal to your own conscience?
There's only so much I can do.
That's kind of disappointing, don't you think?
Just write it.
Okay. How about this? We keep the slap, but we give Prissy a speech. Yes, she says, defiantly holding her hand to her bleeding mouth. I did dawdle. I did take my time. I know Miss Nellie's hurting up there, hurting real bad. And if she dies, what do I care? Because what do any of you care, any of you white folk, you in particular, Miss Scarlett O'Hara, about us, the people who made the, well, who toiled and died for you year after year, generation after generation. See where I'm going? I hope she dies and I hope you die, because something else is being born here right now, a new America, where there's a place for me as well as you.
Are you nuts? Give me that.
Okay, it's the first pass.
What is it?
It's my eye. Let me see. You don't want to look up.
Oh, God.
What is it?
You don't want to look.
Oh,
You think I'm going to lose the eye?
it's just a burst blood vessel.
That can't work if I lose the eye. Don't let me get out of the
Yes,
eye.
sit down.
I mean, this is short for any movie you want to make.
I want you to make this one.
Relax, breathe.
You don't want to go back to driving for somebody else.
Oh, you won't have to do that.
A good eye or a one-eyed driver.
I can still see, and I can read. I know I can read the script. Here, give me that. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, and when I dawdle, I take my time. Nellie's hurting bad, and if she dies, what do I care? What do any of you care? Any of you white folk? Where did this piece of shit come from?
That was something Ben was trying out.
Piece of shit. Where do you stand on the race question, Mr. Fleming? You think there's a place for it in the popular movie?
You are just a Chicago newsman at heart, aren't you, Harry?
Yes, as a director, you make a pretty good chauffeur. Oh, no!
You know, I ain't that fool to write this script. Hell, he and I are acting it out for you. We're giving you all the lines. What more do you need?
David and I are trying to get some work done here. Do you mind?
Do I mind? Do I mind? The writer's trying to get some work done, so I should, what, disappear up my own ass? Push! You know, sounds like you're the ones that are doing all the work here, sonny boy. The writer's only feeling the heat for the, what, a couple of hours it's going to take you to put this piece of shit screenplay together. Where are you going to be when I'm living with this turkey for 6 months, day after day? Is the writer going to help you deal with the location and the sets and the costumes and the props? And and him! Are you going to be there at midnight when I have to sit with the actors because they don't want to come to work, because they don't like the color of the shower curtain?
She's at the stairs.
Where are you going to be when I have to hold their hands and let them cry on my shoulder? Let them tell me their stories. When all I really want to do is punch them in the nose and say, it's acting. Just turn up and say the line, damn it.
In the beginning was the word.
Yeah, but the word doesn't get said until some poor son of a bitch like me shows up on the set and shouts action.
If it's true that no director sets out to make a bad movie, then what is the explanation?
Well, because even before you get to the set, somebody is after you to compromise. Somebody's, do you need this scene? Do you need that scene? Do you have to have so many extras? Hey, going into production without a screenplay is a great idea. So then you get to the set, day one. here comes somebody. They need you to compromise on something. Set, location, costume, whatever. And we got a problem. Can you help out? Can you be a little flexible? Okay. Day two, here comes somebody else. Another problem, another compromise. They give a little here, what the hell. Okay, so set. It takes 9 months from script to premiere, right? Okay. That's 270 days, given one compromise a day, 270 compromises. Say your movie lasts 90 minutes, that is one compromise every 30 seconds.
Guys, please, you want to talk compromise? Imagine you see this knocked-down, dead, beautiful woman, and there's an unspoken yes in her eyes, and you say to her, your place of mine. You get there, and she slips off her shoes, and you put something slow on the radio, and she breathes, yes. Then you're in the bedroom, and there she is, naked in the moonlight, and she hears that yes again, and you're about to climb out of your pants. The director walks through the door and says, all right, I'll take over now, leave it to me. How'd you like to be a Hollywood screenwriter?
Suck it down, pal. The real movie magic doesn't happen until me, on the set, takes this and turns it into those specks of light that salesman is always bullshitting about.
In the beginning was the deal. You don't get to write the words, and you don't get to shout action until somebody puts the money together. Now that is an art form. You want to talk about being creative? Have you ever looked at the studio books? Now that is real imagination. You're disappointed in me, Ben. Hey, it's a free country. Anybody is free to make whatever movie that they want. You want to make your own Gone with the Wind? Go ahead. As long as you can raise $1 million and control the rights. Do you have $1 million? Do you have the rights? No. Then maybe you are here to help me write the Gone with the Wind that I would have made. I pay you to write it the way I want it written. And somebody like Fleming here to direct it the way I see it. Now that is called collaboration. Only in Hollywood. Movies get made because somebody like me, who everybody thinks is the asshole who just happens to own the studio, picks up a book and, yes, I think it's going to be another Moonlight and Magnolias. But a couple of pages into it, the same thing happened to me that happened to Margaret Mitchell. Scarlett O'Hara grabbed me by the nuts and never lets go. I thought that Margaret Mitchell just turned out to be just another modest writer. But Scarlett O'Hara took the book over. So you don't get to make judgments about the little brat. You just go with her. 1.5 million readers did. And just as I'm sure that there's a God of the movies, I know that tens of millions of moviegoers will.
And who might that God of the movies be? You?
Oh, no. He's just a close relative.
But we got to do it your way. Me, him.
Somebody's got to have the vision and the willpower to put it all together. That's just the way it is.
Isn't that what Hitler's been telling his people? What Mussolini and Stalin have been telling theirs?
Hitler couldn't take the pressure of running a studio. Mussolini wouldn't have the patience, and Stalin is too nice. Just get back to your guess.
Aren't you running a dictatorship too?
Those guys don't have air breathing down their necks. Now, I've been carrying this movie in my gut for the past 3 years. I know Scarlett O'Hara. I know Melanie. I know Ashley and Brett Butler and Tara. And I care more about them than any hired hand. Which, at the end of the day, is what you two are. I can taste this movie, but I need your help to get it on the screen. I raise the money. Fleming here figures out where the camera goes and how the actors say their lines. Isn't there something that you should be doing? You, stop blubbering like a little girl about your eye. And you, stop dreaming of making Hollywood what it can never be. Stay on that chair. Give me Chrissy's big scene.
Scarlett hauls off on the little girl. Her head swings around like she's been hit by a baseball bat. No! Scarlett's fist connects. The girl's head explodes like a ripe watermelon. No! Scarlett nails her. Her jaw snaps with a twang. No. You see the problem?
Just write it, damn it.
Well, what is it, a right hook?
Oh, an uppercut. Maybe a left jab. Does she cold cocker? You know, I dropped a guy in a bar fight with one of these. Let me kick in the ribs.
Just write it. Our adulterous two-timing slave driving heroine is about to add child abuse to her resume. It's only a little slap. Vivian Lee's no Joe Louis, but she's a connection. She doesn't.
You know, Mayer wants me to fail. All the people who said that this was the biggest white elephant in Hollywood history want me to fail. All the people who said that I was going to end up like my father, losing everything he ever had. All the people who fall for this and fall for that. But I am going to make the best damn movie this town has ever made. The best damn movie in the history of the world. I need this scene. I need it then. For Christ's sake, I need...
David, you okay?
What did you do to him?
He just kind of froze.
Do you think it's the bananas? You killed him.
Don't say that.
Over one lousy scene.
Maybe we should call a doctor.
Hey, did I get a doctor for my eye?
This is different. This is freezing.
Yeah, there's a pulse. Yeah, he's still breathing.
What are you doing?
I'm calling the doctor.
We can call from home. Don't you want to get a clean shirt, shave, a shower?
Eat.
Yeah, you get that eyelid.
I could murder a river.
You take a shower.
Short stack of blueberry pancakes.
Oh, toasted onion bagel with the lazy on the cream cheese, a lox and a pickle.
You cannot expect people to work like this.
Look at this place.
God, feed them peanuts and bananas.
You can't treat the director of Test Pilot like
There's
this.
the writer of Hurricane.
How about a little respect for the guy who puts the movie up on the screen?
Yeah, and the guy who gives us the words to work from.
Yeah, and the peanuts.
And the bananas.
The bathroom.
Still wait for her desk. What, you think she's in the ladies' room?
And I get to Washington Boulevard and call for a cab.
Oh, no. What about the guards at the gate? Think
Come on, shoot! Oh, come on!
I don't know.
What? Oh, something can't be right. The rest of the world wrong. What? This movie's going to derail the career of every person involved with it. He'll be eating crow at MGM by the end of the month.
Yeah, listen, I'm staying out of the family stuff, okay? And I advise you to do the same. You know what these people are like.
These people.
Yeah, you know,
All these Jews. All
Okay,
the
that's
Jews
not
who
what I
run
was
the
getting at.
studios.
All right, buddy. Yes, okay, yeah, I did start out this business as a driver, okay? But I'm in the studio car every morning. I say I am not going to be that sucker ever again.
That's the most pathetic thing I ever heard.
Those lines are the most pathetic thing I've ever heard.
I'm going to make a run for it.
You know, nobody can blame me. Yeah, a writer can work anywhere. Me? I'd rather rather be riding in the studio car than working under it with a wrench.
Adios.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I completely agree with you. This is a piece of shit. This heroine doesn't have enough class to be a hooker. Ashley Wilkes, woo. The rooting interest in this thing is Gable. I don't even think he can pull it off. But you know, you said you would give him 5 days. And if there's one guy in this town that can stuff this sausage, it's Ben Hatch.
The Chicago newspaper man? Brr, brr.
Yeah, but I've seen what you can do. 5 days in that chair? You must have a cast iron ass. You know what? This movie needs that ass. No, I mean, he needs it most of all. So, yeah, I mean, you two are the same. You're from the same.
From Jewtown.
Okay, yeah, well, okay. You could walk out on me, yeah, but you can't walk out on him.
Just watch.
You know, you need him too, you know. There's only one guy in this town that's going to make movies that you want to make. Oh.
Okay. He gets his 5 days. But you're going to have to be the one to figure out how to sell the slack.
I'll work it out.
I can't wait. Chrissy enters, Scarlet, Soxer, and action. What happened? We lost you for a minute there. Do we have it?
Oh, yeah.
A slap. Tell me we got it.
I did.
Oh.
Let's see.
And come on, you've got a crew of 150 standing around. Pretty soon you're going to lose the light. Everybody's waiting for you. All the tech guys, the actors. You're the only guy other than me who has to know like he knows what he's doing.
Coming up.
Come on.
Stairs.
You're the man who invented the camera dolly, the traveling mic. Are you going to let some little thing like this beat you? Hold up!
Okay.
Hey!
No, it's more like a.
No, it's not. It's like this. Yeah, or maybe.
No, she's not. You know? And.
Oh, no, I think it's much more of a...
No, it's like this. Look.
Yeah, that's it. Really? What?
Hey! Whoa! Hey! Let me out of here! Let me out of here! Open that door!
I see. I got it.
I don't have a seat if I don't have a slap.
Right, okay, I know. All right, so we're shooting. Say the camera's here. Okay? And Chrissy's here. And Scarlet throws the mid. Pow! See the head coming into the camera. It's like it's all loose and everything.
Which is what I don't want.
Exactly. So we move the camera up here. Okay? There's the angle. Throw the mitt. Boom! Takes the yow off of it, you see?
You think we can sell it?
You want to see it the other way again?
No. You were right the first time. Hey, come on, let's go. You owe me 3 days. 2. But who's counting? Roll 'em. Where is that girl? Where is that bad, stupid girl?
Am I gonna play Prissy again?
Yes.
All right.
Hi, Miss Darling.
The doctor. Where's the doctor?
I didn't bring no doctor.
Hold it.
Yeah. It's all about the end. And action.
You ready, Ben? Heaven help us all, I am.
Aha! The slap stays in the movie. The Civil War stays in the movie. And before anybody asks, Scarlett O'Hara stays in the movie. 22 chapters down, 41 to go. I said no calls.
Yes, Mr. Selsley.
More peanuts, Miss Polly.
Yes, Mr. Selsley. Will you speak to Miss Lee? She sounds awful upset.
Okay, okay. Yes? I see. I understand. But I have every confidence in Victor Fleming. One thing about Garland, I never heard about a slap. Come Monday, I think you're going to be very happy with him and the new screenplay. Miss Buffenville!
Yes, Mr. Selsley.
Memo to... oh, hell, send everybody a memo about everything.
The Chinaman.
The Chinaman?
Chinaman with the one leg. Dancing on the piano. Over there. With the lady in the barrel. Over there. With all the fish. Oh.
Don't you lose it now.
The cops. The cops are gonna be looking for me. Somebody will have missed me. You can't get away with this.
All right, where are we up to, Ben?
Bonnie just died, I think. I know somebody fell off a horse.
Ah, you see how close we are to getting out of here?
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Get away from that window.
I know how the Lindbergh kid must have felt. Poor little bastard.
Victor!
Oh, God, it is real.
Eat your banana.
I only have one kidney, you know that.
But don't tell me you can't take the heat.
Who can take this?
How about that shot you had in test pilot when you had 110 planes in the air at the same time? 18 cameras.
That was easier compared to this. Why are you putting us through this anyway? I mean, what are you trying to prove? Is it because your dad went from a penthouse mansion in Park Avenue to a one-room flat? Is it because a mayor has always had you by the balls, even if it was Louis or Irene?
I don't need counseling from a Cherokee German.
But you know what the odds against this movie are, don't you? Even if you don't kill Heck in the process.
I will remind you, you said that when you walk out to get your Oscar.
That's why you're putting us through this.
Feel pretty good, wouldn't it? There's a little fella on your desk.
I always thought they made him look like a big gold pecker. Probably not by accident.
Gotta keep going, man!
You just want to win so you can piss off the mayor when you walk up.
I want to win because the movies are dead. It's over. This industry is finished. But before they turn out the lights, I want to make one great movie just so that I can show them what it could have been.
Our careers may be over, but Hollywood has never been in better shape.
Hollywood. This town has had 30 great years. Amazing years. I mean, who would have thought when it all began that some of the biggest fortunes on this planet were going to be made by making people sit in a room full of strangers, turning out the lights and shooting pictures on a glorified horse blanket. Yeah, we didn't just kill the goose that laid the golden egg, no. We stuck the golden egg right up its ass and fricasseed it.
Hollywood is going to make over 300 pictures this year.
Now, you tell me how they be possibly, by the grace of God, be 300 variations of the same dumb story, the same dumb bunch of characters. The girl next door, the hooker with a heart of gold, the flirt, the tease, the good guy, the bad guy, the funny guy, the sidekick. In a few years, this town is going to look like Egypt, full of crumbling pyramids. 30 years and maybe one good movie. Test pilots. But I need the screenplay. Come on, Ben. I know these aren't the ideal conditions to work in.
Believe me, the loneliness of literary creation is seldom part of movie writing. Not with the boss charging in and out of the atelier, the phone ringing like a firehouse bell, and the director tearing his hair out waiting for the pages. More peanuts, Miss Poppingill? Ideal?
And for me, Ben, please, the last reel.
All right. Melanie is on the couch. She's ready to croak.
And the biggest damn tearjerker of a scene that's never been put on film.
Do you ever ask yourself why you always choose the classics? Why the big costume dramas and books by dead writers? Now you have a book that can be made to mean something. You're still trying to play it safe.
Me? Play it safe? I'm the biggest gambler in Hollywood.
A handful of Jews gave the world the movies. And deep down, you're scared that we're all going to be run out of town. All of us mayors and Goldwins and Zuckers and Combs and Heck chased back to Russia, back to Poland and Hungary, back to the shtetls, where we'll be glove salesmen and pants pressers and furriers once again. We'll have lost it all. All the big houses and yachts and blonde chicks.
Hell with all that. Can we finish the screenplay, please? You know, my grandfather fought in this Civil War.
So,
So, the last reel.
somehow that makes you
More American than us! You hear that? Oh, I don't think he's saying that. What do you say? What do you think about being locked up in a room with two crazy Jews? Really, Victor?
It wouldn't be the first time.
not Hollywood. That's for sure, right, Victor?
That is a fact.
What are you trying to do? Get him to walk out of here and sabotage my movie?
I'm looking at a place in Beverly Hills right now. Who was Beverly? The wife of the developer. He built it because Jews can't live in Hancock Park. No matter how much money they have, how many movies they make.
The movie we're trying to make here is Gone with the Wind.
You may be a prince of Hollywood, David, but deep down you know you can't join any country club in Los Angeles you want to, or live anywhere you like.
Why don't you keep your politics, obsessions, and personal opinions out of my studio?
Why don't you take a real gamble and make a movie that'll make America look its ugly look in the face?
Because that's not what it wants to see. It wants to see it the way it thinks it looks.
That's okay by you.
And you? You done pretty good for yourself out here, and you ever walked away from a paycheck?
I take the money and run and keep coming back for more. Yes, thanks for pointing that out. Maybe they just put the American movie industry in the wrong place. Out here in the desert with that sun frying your brains, where it's always like 2:30 on a Tuesday afternoon. Where when you listen hard enough, you can hear your brain cells tinkling as they hit the ground. Who could get any real work done out here anyway? Maybe only the Jews are crazy enough or broke enough to even try to build something here.
Well, at least Fleming is honest. He doesn't give a shit.
That's right.
Nobody's holding a gun to your head. You can walk out of here right now.
I said I'd give you 5 days.
Well, get your ass back in that chair then. Yes. My grandfather was probably behind a push start somewhere in Russia, while his was over here fighting the Civil War. But I am the one that's making our war and peace.
Our war and peace.
You want to look at everything through a 6-pointed star, go right ahead. That's your business, not mine. But nobody's going to send us anyplace. We're Americans now.
Really, David? Really? Give me 20 seconds.
Yes, Mr. Head.
Would you get Nunnally Johnson on the line, please?
Right away, Mr. Head.
What are you doing?
Wait and see.
Nunnally Johnson, Mr. Head, on line 1.
Hello, Nunnally? It's me, Ben Heck. How are you? Listen, maybe you could answer a question for me. You know David O. Selznick? Is he an American or is he a Jew? Oh, he's a Jew. Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me. Thanks, bye.
So, another pissed off screenwriter? That doesn't prove anything.
Okay, you tell me who to call.
We don't have time for this.
Oh, really? You're scared to find out?
Your agent.
My agent. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Head.
Would you get me Leland Hayward on the line, please?
Yes, Mr. Head.
But then we finish the scenario.
Leland Hayward, line 2, Mr. Head.
Hello, Leland. Leland, it's Ben Heck. Hi. Listen, maybe you could settle a bet for me. David O. Selznick is on the Titanic, and there are only 2 lifeboats. One is filled with Jews, one is filled with Americans. Which one do you put him in? You go down with the Jews? That's all I wanted to know. You can make their war and peace for them, David, but you'll still be a Selznick.
So, you just prove how clever of a guy you are, man. Me? I never even finished college. I had to do my growing up in a movie set. The only thing I've ever known was a soundstage and a commissary. I even married my boss's daughter. I mean, that's how limited my horizons are.
You are one of the smartest men I have ever met.
Yes, but I am not a man of ideas like you. I'm too busy making movies.
There's more to the world than that.
I like to think I have some ideas, too. I'm not a writer. I can't put them on the page. I can't make a parade out of them. But movies don't get made by people of ideas. Nothing happens anywhere without the man of action. Action!
The guys with the power. The guys with the power. As who else might say, wearing a little black mustache and later hosen.
What power do I have, Ben? I can't even make you finish a screenplay. I can't make people go see my movies. I can't fix the rocks in those guys' heads, and I am not about to waste my time trying. You want to talk about power? You know who has the power at the end? The real power.
The mayor.
No.
The gate office.
Not even close.
Oh.
The banks. No. This guy. Her. I gotta make this guy happy. This baldy guy over here. This gimp. This fatso. This son of a bitch over here. Her with the big tits. This Frenchman. This Pola. All those little people. All those Joe Blows and Jane Does. All those people who have absolutely nothing in common except the fact that they go see a movie 3 and 4 times a week. And every time they go, they buy a ticket. And every ticket is a vote for my movie or a vote against it.
ones who run this town are the ones with the real power. Mayor, me,